In this video, I am going to show you 12 boring SaaS ideas that you can build in the accounting software category. Pretty boring. Then we are going to list the different subcategories to find out which ones are growing. And finally, we will do sort of vibe market research using deep research agents like Gemini, Cloud Research, or OpenAI ChatGPT Deep Research. And we will look into one specific subcategory that we found using the deep research agents to find out the exact market gaps, like AKA business ideas, based on the customer feedback. We will mostly use AI to do the whole process. So market research has changed a lot in the recent weeks. And this is so far like the fastest way I have to go from barely know a market to like educate yourself on the market, make sure it is growing, find out all the subcategories within this market, validate the demand for each categories, and isolate what specific unsolved needs can still be built to compete in this market. So each of the ideas that I'm about to show you are subcategories that have growing demand. But just before we go into the ideas, let me tell you, it's not the most important. What's the most important is to understand how you can reproduce that for yourself. So very quickly, let's go from the very beginning. And as you can see here, we have what I call the evergreen problem maps. It's a huge mind map that I've built that contains all the problems that every company have. Mostly, all the company have the same problems, and they are willing to pay for someone to help them to solve these problems. But for the sake of this video, we are going to start with the accounting software space. So the very first thing we want to do before anything else is to look into Google Trends. So simply by typing the name of the market we want to explore, we can see already that this is a solid market. It's not an incredibly growing market, and we can see that there is some kind of um, downtrend here, but this doesn't really matter. What matters is that it is stable with a high volume and that it is currently growing. So now that we made sure that there is demand in this market and that we can comfortably seeing ourselves building within this market, the second step, even though it's boring, is to educate ourselves on the market. And for that, I use an what I call an industry deep dive prompt, which is part of the methodology that you can find. The link is in the description. But this industry deep dive prompt, when you use it with Gemini, which I tend to prefer when it comes to really understand the market, gives you this sort of report. And I actually read it, this one for the sake of this video, mostly, maybe 80%. But I'm not going to read it to you because the watch time will die instantly. So what I did is I simply summarized it with Claude. So we are talking about the accounting software space. So market opportunity, large growing market, 15 to 20 billion globally, projected to reach 30 billion by 2030. Regional focus, North America, 35% market share, and Europe offer the best opportunities. Core market paradox. The biggest insight is a fundamental disconnect. Market leaders like QuickBooks dominate through market share but generate widespread customer hatred. This creates a massive opportunity for customer-centric alternatives. This is the first insights that we can start thinking of when building on this market. Customer pain points. The analysis revealed deep frustration with incumbents, predatory pricing, and reliable software, terrible support, non existent or unhelpful customer service, feature bloat, forced to pay for complex features they don't need. Strategic recommendation, target frustrated escapists. solopreneurs and micro businesses actively seeking alternatives to incumbent solutions, particularly in e-commerce sales tax compliance. So this is something I don't really like with Gemini is despite the fact that it gives a lot of very interesting information, it always wants to give advices. But at this point, I didn't want advices. I just wanted to understand um, how is the market going? Who are the main actors? What are the first frustration I can understand? And it gave it to me, but it also gave me some advices, and it's not wrong. We will see right now in the while looking into the ideas, but it's not what I wanted specifically. So now that I know about the market, so I picked one, I made sure there is demand. It's a growing market. I educated myself. Now I want to start listing the subcategories. And to do that, I again use another prompt, which is the subcategory finder prompt, which is again another prompt for deep research. When I say deep research, it always means one of those deep research AI agents. So here you have Gemini, Claude, or ChatGPT, but it could also be Perplexity, it could be Grok, it could be Manus AI, GenSpark, whatever, the one you prefer. I like to work with those three, and I don't use them for the same purposes. As I said, Gemini for me is more when I want to learn about something, but when I want to achieve a specific task, like the subcategory listing report, then I'd rather use Claude or ChatGPT. So this prompt basically will ask Deep Research to look into all the different job to be done and different categories within the accounting software category and to list out all the potential Google queries that are showing those categories. So for me, it's very easy to just pick a query and validate it on Google Trend to see if there is demand. And for each of them to list, to give me the main actors, the ones that are ranking first in this specific subcategory. So this is the moment where I'm showing you the different ideas. And for now, let's look at the first ones. And this is absolutely not an idea because it starts with the most mainstream queries, which is, for example, accounting software for small businesses. This is not something you want to take as a category to build in because it's way too big, but it just gives some interesting insights. So there is obviously a huge volume. It's growing and it's growing exactly the same way as this one. So it confirms what we knew already. And we also know that small businesses are a big part of the software accounting. Hey, just a quick break. This video is actually sponsored by myself, and I want to show you something that might just make your next customer say, finally, that's exactly what I have been looking for. If you're a founder, especially a technical one, you've probably hit this wall. You can build the product, but when it comes to explaining it so people actually want to buy it, you end up guessing. And guessing costs you money, costs you time, and costs you momentum. That's why I have built the voice mining framework. It's not another fluffy branding or guru marketing course. It's a plug and play system that uses AI to mine your market's exact language, their pains, desires, and buying triggers, straight from where they already talk online. Then it turns that research into ready to use landing pages, ads, email, short form script, long form script, whatever marketing assets that you need. Bottom line, you stop writing what you think will work and start using words you know will convert. You can grab it today, run it this afternoon, and have a real data baked messaging before dinner. The link is below. Now let's back to the video, which was expected actually. Then we have, I'm just going here on the trend, so you don't have to read that. That's not really interesting. So let's just keep going with the trends. Bookkeeping software, same thing. It's not specific enough. Cloud accounting software, same thing. Although you have something, I didn't dig into that, but to me, it's not specific enough for one a solo founder to go into a category and start building something, because that's what we want is for you to, as a solo founder, to pick a subcategory and build something within it. Here I have accounting software for e-commerce. For some reason, I don't have a volume, but if I look into accounting software for Shopify, I have a better volume here and I have a growing demand. So there we have it, the first one. So if we look into what it says here, accounting software with Shopify, find accounting software that can directly integrate with Shopify stores to sync orders, payout, inventory, and financials. Monthly search volume estimate measure. We have QuickBooks that work. We have My Work for My Work things for QuickBook, A2X, Cinder, Xero, and Wedgility. I don't know how to say that. We are going to look into the next one, actually, because I didn't dig into the Shopify, but it tells you for the first one what you can get. So you start by looking into the query, go into Google Trend, type the query, see if there is demand, and if you see that there is a volume, first of all, if the subcategory is relevant, then the volume is big enough and it is a growing market and if possible stable, then you can start look into the different players. And I didn't do it for this one, but I did it a little bit for this one. Second one, the accounting software for Amazon. The volume is pretty low, but I just found it was really interesting because now we are talking about something very specific. Like we are talking about the category and then the subcategory is is specific enough for someone to go into it and decide to build a solution that fits perfectly the need of these specific people. And the thing is, we have something happening. I don't really usually like that when it's like so sudden, but something is happening. So that's a good sign. So this is the second one. Then we have accounting software for Salesforce. Same thing. We have small volume, but again, it's not the only volume. If you look at all the different search queries, then in the end, the volume is bigger than that, and there are businesses. So you can't compare it with other volumes in the B2C space. And the same thing, we have something happening recently. Don't know why, but I thought it was also pretty interesting. Shopify QuickBook integration. We have some kind of volume here that is a little bit more interesting, although the trend is somehow weird. But the volume is there, and it goes along with the one we had earlier, accounting software for Shopify. Then we can see that a lot of people are using QuickBooks and need an integration with Shopify. Then we have accounting software for construction. So this is a subcategory that is pretty solid, actually. The volume is very high for this type of query. And we can see that we have like a very stable market that is growing recently. So this is exactly what you want to look into. Construction is a big market, and you can probably find a lot of problems and pains that are not properly solved yet. Next one, we have the accounting software for nonprofits. So again, I thought this one was interesting because of the fact that it is very specific when you think about it. Like uh, I mean, I'm not really an expert in nonprofit at all, but I guess they have a total different approach of accounting with specific need. I guess the volume is good, and I did some exploration and I found some actors that are doing it, which is a good sign actually. Then we have the accounting software for real estate. Um, this one, same thing. We have good volume and we have something happening recently, and which is all related to the global growth that we can see here in the recent weeks or months. Next one, we have accounting software for rental property. Again, we have a solid volume, something happening recently. Then we have accounting software for restaurants. We have a decent volume, and there is definitely something to do in this subcategory. And we have accounting software for freelancers or self-employed accounting software. Those are two search terms that goes along with each other, and the total volume is pretty good. And I suspect that it's probably a lot bigger than that, and I will show you why. Um, but this is a very interesting subcategory that I did explore, and this is actually the category that I went through the whole system with. So just stay tuned because that's the next step of the video. This one didn't take it. I think it was startups is way too vague to me. It's not specific enough. Legal accounting software, okay, makes sense. Volume is good. A lot of legal firms. Um, Probably the market is crowded already, but it is still a market that is growing, and there is probably something to do here if you start digging into it. Then we have best accounting software for Macs, which I didn't select. Accounting software with payroll. I don't know exactly. It didn't talk to me. Accounting software with inventory management. Okay. Multi-currency accounting. Turns out it's a lot about the big ones. And the big ones, we have Xero, we have QuickBook Online, we have Sage, Oracle, Soho Books, Wave. Wave is pretty much everywhere. So no, not interesting. And account payable automation software. To be honest, I don't know what's account payable in English, but I figured it's an interesting one because reading a little bit into it, people are actually searching for this thing specifically. So if you want to look into it, feel free. And the last one, account receivable automation software, which is same principle as the one above. Okay, now let's look into the next step, which is digging into the different actors in each market. So let's start by the accounting software for Amazon, the one I told you earlier. I found this one, Accurate E-commerce Accounting on Autopilot, which is kind of Amazon, not really, but it was mentioned here in my report. So yes, why not? And then I figured also this one, but it's kind of an aggregator of all the different tools for accounting. Um, and the pricing is also quite low, which told me, okay, yeah, it has traffic. So every time I will show you the traffic, and that's the interesting thing. And somehow it's quite funny to see the discrepancy between the search volume and the traffic that those tools have. But first of all, they are not only specific for Amazon. I don't think so. And they are already quite well established. So it is worth digging into it, going to the next step. But I didn't find it was the most interesting one. Then we have here the accounting software for nonprofits. So something I didn't know anything about, but turns out there are quite big players here. You have A Plus, which is manage finance, people, and giving for your nonprofit or church, and it has 300,000 visits per month, which is very decent for an accounting software. I don't know what revenues they are making. Uh, One thing you can check as well is just to take the link. So I will show you how you do that. You just pick the link. So that's the website I showed you. And what I like to do is to go to the Wayback Machine, because sometimes it's very handy to know if a website is around since a long time or not. So you can kind of feel if you are facing competitors that are there since forever, or if it's still a dynamic market. And then this website basically takes screenshot of the whole internet. I don't know, I have no idea how they are doing that, but it takes screenshots of the whole internet, and you can access them. So for example, if I want to see, first of all, here I can see that this domain is out there since a long time, actually, um, 2013. But you need to check it out because sometimes the domain has been sold, and the website is actually new, but the domain was there before. So as the first thing you want to make sure, you want to go back in time and check if the website was already doing the thing they are doing right now. But let's check in 2021, and then as you can see, it was already working and doing the exact same thing. So the domain was already owned by the same company. And what's also interesting using the Wayback Machine is that you can sometimes it's very easy to look at a product company that is doing things right now and and forget that they had a long way of iterations to get there, to get where they are now. And looking into the Wayback Machine, you can see year by year how they change their messaging, how they change their positioning, their offers. So it's a very, very interesting tool. It's free, so it's something that you should absolutely use when you are researching a specific market. Anyway, that was a big parenthesis for Wayback Machine. And now let's go back to the other players in the nonprofit industry. And as you can see here, you have one that is specific, but it is a small one. I'll put it here anyway. And we have another one where nonprofit treasurer go for peace of mind. Nice. And the traffic is quite decent. So looking, I think by looking a little bit more into it, you can find other competitors, and this is good thing. No, you absolutely want competitors that are already targeting exactly this specific pain point. You are absolutely not looking for being the first, because if you are the first, there might be something wrong somewhere. Um, but then you need to decide if it's something you want to do or not. And for the sake of this video, I didn't use this one, the nonprofit, to go for the next step. I used actually the next that we are going to go into, which is the freelancer industry. Volume was interesting, and it was also given to me by the very first report. When I was educating myself, I saw that there was a lot of pain with the freelancing industry. So this is what I did, and weirdly, the first tool that I found um, by looking into here. So what I don't want to do is to, I know them. No, I know the big ones like QuickBooks, FreshBooks, Wave, ZoBooks. I'm looking into the ones that I don't know the name. So Bonsai, I thought was specific for freelancer, but they are probably using it, but it's not specific for freelancers. It's an accounting software for services, and it has very, very good traffic, like 4,500, which is really good, but not specific enough. So what I did, and I'm going to show you how I did that. So let's open this one. So that's the same website. And now if I click to this extension, which is, by the way, I mean, I think I'm presenting this extension in all of my videos. Nice Chrome extension that also helps you to have the volume within Google Trend, and helps you to see, for example, when I'm looking into a specific keyword, I have the volume here and I have all the related keywords next to it. So definitely recommend this extension. It's really a shame that I don't have an affiliate link because I really talk a lot about this tool. But I'm recently exploring other things they are doing. And so one thing I've started using recently is this feature, which allows to see at the domain level the traffic that the website is receiving. So you can see all the different keywords for which it's ranking. And honestly, I didn't, when I opened it, I didn't exactly know what to look into. But that is also another very interesting thing when researching, is that I never really know what I'm looking at, but I'm always trying to find something that attracts my attention. But in this case, I simply copied it, the whole thing, then I put it within um, Gemini, just like that, without saying anything, just to see what he thinks about this this report, and he started talking about different competitors for which it should rank for Honeybook alternative. And I was like, Honeybook, what's that? Then turns out Honeybook is the biggest tool for accounting for freelancer and independent. And they have 1.5 million visitors per month, or visits per month. Last time someone corrected me, so it's visits per month, not visitors. So yeah, I thought this one at this point was for me like a confirmation that we have here. So first of all, let's take a step back. We know we are in a growing market. The first thing we do when we educate ourselves, we have some insight about the fact that freelancers and independent are probably the less served, the less well served in this market. Then looking into the trend, we figured, no, it's not this one. We figured that the volume is good, the trend is solid. Um, so far so good. And looking into the different actors, and I didn't go further, but I could have, we find something like that, which means it's a very big one, and it's on the homepage for independent professional, um, and we have a lot of traffic, which means this is something we can go into. Then we have, I'm just talking about this one because it was also interesting. I found this one, which is online accounting made easy and it's free. No, it's not free. So first thing I do is I ask ChatGPT, how are they making money? And it's a free web-based bookkeeping app aimed at freelancers and very small businesses. The core product is free forever. The company makes money from small paid add-ons. So I thought, I mean, first of all, I couldn't accept that it was free, so I needed to figure out why. But I think it's a very good example of thinking outside the box and turning something that people expect to pay into something free and monetizing differently. And you can also monetize with affiliate things, with a lot of different things, with education on the back end. But I didn't make my video yet about business models that I really want to do. But when starting a business, disrupting a category also means sometimes changing the business model. And this is what they did. They don't have a lot of traffic, so I don't think they are making a ton of money, but it's a very interesting approach. All right, let's move on to the next step. And for the next step, I used a subcategory deep dive prompt, which is a huge prompt that asks a deep research agent, again, as whatever the agent that you want, to dig into this time a subcategory. So now we are only focusing on the freelancing, the accounting software for freelancers and independent. So we don't look into the rest. And it asks it to dig into the different competitors and the solutions that they're offering and how people are reacting, what people are complaining, what do they like, what don't they like. Um, Everything related to this subcategory. So, in the end, ultimately, it will give a few opportunities based on all this research to build a tool that targets specifically a certain category of people to help them to achieve a certain result without a certain pain. So that's in the end what we want. It's like the base of the business idea we can build on. And again, I'm not going to read the whole report, but you can. And you can see also the different style of the report. And I'm just going to read quickly the different statements of the opportunity I just mentioned that we got from this complete research. And I actually like this one. For growth minded freelancers and solopreneurs in the US and Europe who are frustrated by the unreliability, complexity, and punitive pricing of existing accounting softwares. Our product is a radically focused accounting tool that provides effortless financial clarity. Unlike competitors like QuickBooks, QuickBooks solopreneurs that trap users in a dead-end system and zero or fresh book that gates essential features like multi-currency support behind expensive bloated plan, our solution delivers flawlessly executed essentials, income expense tracking, invoice and tax estimation on a scalable platform with transparent pricing and exceptional human support. This allows our user to save time, gain confidence in their finance, and focus on growing their business without fear of outgrowing their tools. So that is a little bit too much, but what I like is that this is one recommendation. So it's basically okay if you go in into this subcategory based on everything people are talking about related to using accounting software when you are an independent. This research ended up finding out that they are struggling with the dead end system that gate feature, essential feature, multi currency. Basically, they are overwhelmed by all these features. They need to pay more and they don't use it, and it's overwhelming. So the idea is to like minimalize the tool, get the expense tracking, invoicing, tax estimation, with transparent pricing that will stay the same and very good support. And this just for freelancers. So it could be a quite simple tool actually. And when you decide to go for it, then the next step will be to dig into it's the marketing, and then you will find out a lot of different quotes where people are expressing their pain points, and then you can build your marketing upon that. But this is really the base of the idea. Everything that we have done earlier ends up with that statement, basically. You can read the other ones if you like. You can access this document. The link is in the description. So you can even click on each report if you want and and read the whole report if you really want to build this kind of tool. But I think the main value is given already. Um, to summarize, there is this huge map, which is something I built, by combining different blocks. That is combining all the different problems that every company out there have and is willing to uh, pay to pay someone to solve their problem. We pick only one, make sure it's growing, then we educate ourselves on the market, then we start listing the subcategories. Then next step, we check the demand for each subcategories and the relevancy for each category. We explore the ones we find the most promising, and we look for indicators, clues that tells us, okay, there is a lot of demand here. There are existing competitors. We can build something within this category that solves the unsolved pains. Then we use the subcategory div dive prompt that then does the market research specifically on this subcategory, find out all the pain points, and come up with different business ideas that are most likely to succeed if executed correctly. And that's it for this video. I hope it was not confusing again and not too much at once. Let me know, please, really, let me know if you're still there. Please let me know in the comments, what do you think about this type of videos? Because I'm kind of testing out here. I'm mostly doing like educational content on how to validate your idea, how to get customers, how to use AI to write marketing copies and funnels. And but this is really like pure market research, finding business ideas. I think it's fun. Let me know in the comment if you enjoy it, and if so, what else would you like to see, and what can I change? What can I improve in this type of video? Really curious. Very last thing, if you have an idea that is solid already, or even if you already have a product that you started building, uh, You will find in the description the link to the voice mining framework, which is another chain of prompts, uh, exactly like this, but this time it is to help you to create all your marketing. So it will do the complete customer research for you, extract all the pain points, and turn that into a very strong and good marketing copy. So if you are at this point, do not hesitate. The link is in the description. And otherwise, I see you in the next video. Bye bye.